Hola. Welcome to lower back day. Hey, I gotta go to the bathroom real quick. Last minute body business and all that fun stuff. So, welcome to the Crystal Library. We're gonna start with Proko. He's gonna give me 15 minutes to run to the restroom. By the time he's done, I'll be done. So, I'll be right back. Enjoy.
Hello, my name is Stan Prokopenko. Lucky you, you've stumbled on a very special pirate edition of Proko. In this episode, we'll learn about two very important muscles of the lower back, the erector spinae and latissimus dorsi. Erector spinae. We'll start with the erector spinae, since it's the deeper of the two. It's a cylindrical muscle that travels along the length of the spine. It originates from the pelvis, more specifically from the crest of the sacrum and the posterior third of the iliac crest. As it travels up the spine, more fibers originate off the lumbar vertebrae and two lowest thoracic vertebrae to join the group. The erector spinae inserts on all 12 ribs as it passes by, until its final insertion on the mastoid process of the skull. Essentially, the erector spinae is a spine-long arrow, and its arrowhead is tucked right into your butt crack. The form of the erector spinae is actually split into medial and lateral masses, but we'll do a thorough study of the forms in the next lesson. The function of the erector spinae is to erect the spine, straightening the thoracic and lumbar sections. It also plays a part in rotating and laterally flexing the spine. If you want to feel your own erector spinae in action, lie on your stomach and pretend to be a boat. The tension you feel near your spine is the erector spinae. Or skelly. So using that information, can you guess what the erector spinae's antagonist is? Pirate! That's right, the rectus abdominis. The erector spinae extends the spine, while the rectus abdominis flexes the spine. Latissimus dorsi. Let's move on to the latissimus dorsi. You might recognize dorsi from words like dorsal, telling you that this is a back muscle, similar to a dorsal fin on the back of a fish. While the latissimus dorsi isn't very thick, it's very wide and reaches from one edge of your back to the other. Like the erector spinae, the latissimus dorsi originates from the sacrum, the posterior third of the iliac crest, and the lower vertebrae. However, the latissimus is larger than the erector spinae, so it has origin points all the way up through the lower 6 thoracic vertebrae, as well as these points on the lowest 3 ribs. Now, all of these origins are of the lat's aponeurosis, or tendon. The actual muscle fibers start farther away from the spine. On a very lean or muscular type, you'll see the connection of the muscle to the tendon along this curve. On an average person, the lat is pretty thin in the back, so the transition is smooth. From all these origin points, the latissimus converges toward the armpits and eventually inserts in the bicipital groove of the humerus. More specifically, it inserts between and a little above the insertions of the pectoralis major and teres major. It actually twists around before it inserts. This means that it overlaps on top of the teres major posteriorly and then twists around and overlaps on top of the teres major anteriorly as well. The latissimus essentially acts as a sling for the teres major. Note the overlap of the upper border. The tail of the trapezius sits on top of the latissimus near the spine. We can simplify the shape of the latissimus into a triangle, where the bottom tip of that triangle is the sacrum and the upper corners are the armpits. The aponeurosis cuts out a diamond shape from the sacrum up the spine. Okay, almost done. We still have to learn the lat's function. Even though it's anchored on the lower back, the latissimus inserts on the arm, and the arm is what it moves. Its primary action is to lower the arm, but like in a cool way. It also helps to extend the arm and rotate it medially. Swimmers use this muscle when they pull down and back against the water. Rock climbers use it when they pull themselves up. All right, now you know the anatomical details. In the next video, we'll learn the forms of the erector spinae and latissimus dorsi, which will help you draw them. See you then.
Ahoy, man! You know the best treasure to learn? Proko Premium courses. You get extended lessons, more demonstrations, ebooks, and 3D models. Go get in search on Booty at Proko.com and get me.
If you like this video, don't be all selfish. Share it with your friends. And if you want to be updated about new videos, click this button or go to proko.com/subscribe. If you're posting your drawings on social networks, use the hashtag Proko, or consider posting them in one of the Proko Facebook groups. You can find them on proko.com/groups.
Pirate. Ahoy, man! You know the best treasure to learn?
Skelly, wake up! It's time to start!
The back muscle.
Hey, I'm Stan Prokopenko, you're watching Proko. Last time, we learned the anatomical details of the lower back muscles. Now, let's learn how to draw the forms. Erector spinae. The erector spinae is a long, thick muscle mass composed of the smaller, shorter muscle masses of the spinalis, iliocostalis, and longissimus dorsi, which are classified via insertion point. I'm also considering the multifidus as part of this erector spinae mass. The fibers are like a branching tree, with widening but thinning superior self-similar symmetry.
What the
Or in simpler words, the erector spinae is like a pair of crepes. Delicious, delicious crepes. It has two thick, savory columns on each side of the spine and a depression in the middle. That's almost enough for artists to know. While those subgroups, the spinalis, iliocostalis, etc., might be distinct for a second during movement on an extremely ripped model, most of the time, you can just think of good old crepes. The cross contour will look something like this. On an average female, the flank area will have more fat, which can soften this plane change. So you see a rounder cross contour with just a depression at the spine. The depth of the spinal depression depends on how developed the muscles are, since that's what determines how much the crepes push out. Remember, the spinous processes of the vertebrae are superficial. There's no muscle covering them. You'll see a depression even on lean body types. And even an underdeveloped erector spinae will have enough mass to bulge out past the spine. I know I said we just need to think about crepes. I lied. I'm probably just hungry. If you take a closer look at the form of the erector spinae, you'll notice two distinct masses on each side. See how it's all skinny near the sacrum and soft and wide above it? The skinny one is the medial form, with round and narrow columns. The wide one is the lateral form, with softer, flattened columns. It's also angled diagonally. You could simplify both forms into an arrow. It's widest and fullest in the lumbar region and becomes thinner and less visible as it goes up. Even though the erector spinae passes over the sacrum appears on the surface as a convex triangular shape. Usually, the spinal depression starts right above the sacral triangle. Since the form of the erector spinae hugs the spine, it's a great muscle for emphasizing the gesture of the spine. Push the C-curve, S-curve, or straight of the spine and echo its rhythm with the erector spinae. Latissimus dorsi. The latissimus dorsi is wide but thin. The forms of the muscles underneath will often show through. Or in other words, it's especially important to understand its function and form during movement, because the way you draw the lats is a case-by-case basis. The lats are like a towel, wrapped around the back. Or a superpowered cape wedgie. I'll give you a minute to take that in. Its form is thickest on the sides, especially at the top near the armpit. It thins out and softens as it travels toward the pelvis and spine. You can see the mass of the latissimus clearly here and here. However, the mass of the lat is very thin on the back, usually too thin to see on the surface. This is the serratus attaching to the scapula, and this is the erector spinae, not the lat. Look at this cross-section. There's the thickness on the side. Then it quickly thins out and just wraps around the forms underneath. Okay, we get it. The lat is thin. There are, however, a few other effects to watch out for. In order of visibility, the lateral contour is the most obvious, then the top edge where it overlaps the scapula, and finally the jagged edge where the muscle fibers attach on the aponeurosis of the lower back. First up, the lateral contour. We learned that the pectoralis major serves as the front wall of the armpit. The latissimus dorsi basically does the same thing, but on a much larger scale on the back. Even though the lat is a back muscle, it's so wide we can see it from the front as well. It adds to that heroic triangular body shape. You can sometimes see the lat's superior border. On its way from the spine to the armpit, the latissimus crosses over the bottom of the scapula and the teres major. You can see it here, splitting the teres major in two. Be careful, the teres major isn't two separate muscles. Also note how this ridge isn't visible near the spine, since the tail of the trapezius muscle overlaps the latissimus there. Now let's take a look at this thin sheet portion of the latissimus that covers the lower back. As the lat comes out from the armpit, it wraps around the serratus anterior and bottom tip of the scapula. So we will see a plane change, like a step down. It starts just behind the scapula and runs along the rhythm of the serratus. On a developed latissimus muscle, there's a plane change from the muscle to the aponeurosis. The rhythm is somewhat parallel to that of the serratus. The aponeurosis itself is a very thin, diamond-shaped sheet. Sometimes the aponeurosis is pulled on so hard by the lat that it wrinkles. This is an effect reserved for bodybuilders and steroid users, but when it happens, it's hard to miss it. Now, if you weren't as smart as you are, you might confuse those striations for the erector spinae. But you know that's not true, because the erector spinae fibers are vertical. The erector spinae travels up the spine, so these clearly can't be the erector spinae. Now, these are all great general things to look for, but what you actually see on the body varies depending on the pose and the person's physique. When the body moves, the latissimus gets a little tricky. When flexing the spine, or when the arm reaches forward, the latissimus dorsi is stretched thin and you may see the ribs. Let's look at a side view. When the lat is relaxed, the thick teres major and serratus anterior muscles define the sides of the torso. Their forms show through the relaxed lat. But when the latissimus flexes, it completely dominates over the serratus anterior. You'll see the arc of the lat cutting off the serratus bundles. But you notice how we still see the teres major? The teres major is also overlapped by the lat, but since they have similar functions, they are often active at the same time. So the teres major activates with the lat in this pose and becomes more visible as it pushes through the thinner area of the lat up here. When the lat is flexed, you'll likely see two tubes, this thicker one for the teres major and this longer one for the lat. Assignment. Your assignment is to do quick sketch drawings showing the motion and form of the lats and erector spinae. Get the details and reference images for this assignment in the description below. So we have a premium section for students that want to learn more.
Okay, you sure do, but it's gone. Hi, welcome back. Oh my gosh, hi. What a way to start the stream. I have energy. No, I don't. I'm lying. I don't have energy. I have like sleepy punk energy. I don't know. But hello. I get excited when we start new parts of the body. No! Spoilers! Don't look at my music. It's not a secret. Anyway, hello, welcome back to the Crystal Library, everybody. Sorry I had to dip. You know how it just hits you? Emergency mode. It was that. I had a lot of fiber right before this, my good healthy breakfast of apples and walnuts. Oh yeah. But anyway, real quick, give me some chill vibes, please. Let's go with some Animal Crossing for now. Let's turn that down just a hair. Oh yeah, there we go. Okay, how's that sound, friends? Hopefully we're here. For real. I try to start on time, if I can. So, anyway, sorry for all of that commotion and chaos. Welcome, actually, to a calm, chill Mother's Day edition of the Crystal Library. I didn't just get myself situated 5 minutes before we started. No. But no, hello. I don't expect anybody to be here. I expect you to be enjoying time with your mothers, if they're still on this earth. Or if the very least enjoying time with your mom or significant parental figure or guardian. But anyway, I just wanted to say, first of all, I probably should be doing the same, but we don't really have time over here to do such things right now. And next week I won't be able to do stream because I have a recital to go to. Not for me, for my children. Kids. I don't have kids. I teach children. But I have to be surrounded by tons of children and their 45 million family members. So wish me luck that I don't get sick. My favorite day of the year. But anyway, I didn't want to miss 2 weeks of class. So we're here today. And I kind of had a chance to celebrate yesterday. So we got something in there, kind of. But anyway, other than that, as you can probably tell, if this is not your first time, you know the drill here, but if this is, welcome. I do a lot more things than just anatomy, but for now we're studying the human body through Proko. I've already taken this course. This is my second attempt going through these lessons, and after 5 years, some stuff has rusted over and I kind of forgot a lot of stuff that I learned. Specifically this lesson, I forgot nearly everything. So this was a much needed refresher for me. I wasn't here physically to watch the lesson. I hope you got all that, but I watched it previously and I went through and took notes, which you can get access to right here. If you want, I also dictate and translate all of the stuff that I've watched Proko talk about via my own language. Again, not replacing, just giving as many options to make this learning journey as possible, as easy as possible for you guys. And it just adds to my repertoire of ways to learn things. So not only am I visually processing it, I'm dictating it via typing, I'm drawing it, and then actually palpating and feeling it physically in my body. So all of the possible methods that you can to make it easier for you to learn, it just makes it a lot more fun to have a buddy with you. So that's why I'm here. Hopefully not to make you break your brain trying to learn all this stuff alone by yourself. So anyway, without further ado, we're going to get started. But before we do any drawing, I wanted to give you guys a chance to take note of the, the poll. So for the assignment, my favorite part, when we finally get to gesture assignments, yay! I'm so excited. Today probably will be shorter because I do want to get some stuff done today and hopefully not take up too much of your time, so you can go enjoy your time with your mom if they're still here, or at least enjoy some space for them. That link I just sent is a poll, so you can influence what picture we're drawing today. There is currently 2 in the lead. These are tied right now. Currently both equally could be swayed. So if you are here and present in the chat, take a moment, vote which picture we're looking at today, and we're basically going to eliminate 1 out of the 8 pictures Proko gives us. Again, go and do the homework yourself. I hope you have the integrity to do this work with me, because it doesn't happen by your just watching. You have to physically do it with me to feel the growth. So whatever picture we don't do, which is not voted for, we're going to eliminate and do all of the other 3. Because otherwise this journey would take 5 more years. So each session or each stream is going to be dedicated to 1 gesture. I like to take a little longer on these gestures because they're supposed to be quick, but at the same time, you want a solid foundation, and if you rush through something, you're not really learning or processing it. It's good to get quick and get fast at things, but for anatomy studies, we really need to uncover exactly what we're looking at and take a deeper dive. So I'm purposefully making these sessions entirely just 1 gesture per stream versus doing, say, all 3 in like 5 minutes. So again, time is ticking. If you have the ability to and you're not a lurker or a VOD watcher, go vote right now. But again, either one of these lovely people, this lovely lady or this gentleman, are going to be drawn today. We might just flip a coin if nobody votes. And then the last one, whichever is not picked, we'll just do the flip of that. So really quickly, just to one more time recap how things work here. The first picture is going to be just a stand-up gesture of what we're looking at. Usually the second picture is the flip reversal of that, but I'm going to spend 2 sessions to do gesture, mainly because I'm going to probably forget everything after next week. So coming back after next week, we'll have another gesture, and then the last one we'll do a mirror. So I'm going to try my best to do, from imagination, the opposite of what the camera is showing us, just to make it even more challenging for my brain and another chance to tackle this stuff. So anyway, I have no preference. I'm leaning towards this lovely lady because I just tend to enjoy drawing curves and see curves more than straight lines for gentlemen. Not to say that gentlemen don't have curves in their gesture, but there's just a lot more straights than you can find in women. So I just enjoy using my arm and my elbow more when I draw women. But you can change my mind and we can draw this guy, which is much more defined, and you can even clearly see his lat. But if we were to mirror him, we don't really see any erector spinae in this, not much. This lump you see here, that's oblique mostly. And a lot of this stuff is trapezius, which you didn't learn in this lesson. So possibly worth flipping, maybe. But again, you let me know. I'll give you a few more minutes while I decide that. But other than that, I guess we can just look at all the stuff that we did already. This is, again, my second attempt. So first try at this lesson. This was 2019, I want to say, close to 2020. I think I came back in 2020. I took a mini break and then just hit the pavement real hard and just tried to go all in. So, yeah, I'm happy with the gestures. And also, you'll note these are not the full pictures I'm showing you. I cropped them out just for the poll. But yeah, if you want the full picture that we're going to be drawing today, you got to go get them at Proko's website. Link in description. Yeah, there are 8 pictures total. I think 2, 4, 6, 8. Yeah, and we're just going to do probably 3 of these. So anyway, all that aside, feeling good about the gestures, but I didn't really know what shading was yet. I feel like we found anatomy, but shading is definitely where my weakness lies, and I definitely want to get better at that. So this pass, probably the first picture will just be finding gesture, bones, movement, analysis of the muscles on top. Second gesture will be shading. Third gesture will be probably shading flipped. So I need more practice shading is basically what I'm saying. So yeah, let's see if we can do that today. And then last but not least, I have this lovely app, which is not free, but if you want access to it, that's why I have it. Come to class and we can talk it through. But all the stuff that he talked about, let's see, iliocostalis, yeah, longissimus, and then spinalis. Ills, from in to out. Spinalis being the one closest to the spine, that's how I remember. So, ills, sick, I don't know. ILS, or SIL, whatever you want to call it. No, sli, slee. Anyway, yeah, so this is basically the superficial muscles that are on top on the right, and then everything else that's underneath that's hidden usually is on the left. So we looked at the shoulder last time, teres major being the biggest problem that we have to worry about because it does tic-tac-toe and plays like happy sacks with your tricep and your shoulders. It does a lot of stuff. Teres major, just draw a hashtag. That's how I try to remember it. But if you need a refresher on any of the back muscles, we looked at basically supraspinatus, infraspinatus, teres minor and major, and then serratus anterior. None of this stuff was touched, which this is a premium exclusive muscle. I'll let you go get that information yourself. You can quickly read, but you know, if you want more of a deep dive, go get it. You can Google it yourself. And then rhomboids. But yes, the keys that we're looking at today, those three, ills and dorsi, latissimus dorsi, being this whole entire sheet, thoracolumbar, that goes all the way down to your butt crack. So, one more time, I should add, I am not the teacher. I am going to get things wrong. Correct me all day long. But I am just a study buddy trying to get this stuff down as much as you are. So, we correct each other. And another main reason why I do what I do is because Proko, as he mentioned at the end, did offer a Facebook group where you could get feedback and stuff. And he does still have that space on his website, but it's definitely not what it used to be. So I'm not trying to compete again. But if I can offer any feedback, sometimes it's helpful to have feedback from other people, even if we're still learning this stuff together. That's what this community is for, so we can ask questions and hopefully grow together. So there is a Discord, ! Discord. There is a Patreon, ! Patreon. And then last but not least, if you have any spare change, because things are tough right now, as they are for everyone, but if you want me to continue doing these streams, ! Donate would be amazing and greatly appreciated at any time. But you feed yourself first. Take care of yourself first. So anyway, that was a lot. Let's actually draw now. I won't waste your time repeating what Proko already said. We have enough of a lecture. I think that's given you plenty of time to vote. So I can't show the vote up here, but I can on my phone. My stuff almost fell. Let's see. Let's go to the poll. I'm going to refresh the screen. I don't think I can show you. I'm just going to have to take my word for it. Promise and trust that I'm not lying to you. Meanwhile, enjoy the cool vibes of Animal Crossing. Yep, same as before. Alrighty, so I'm gonna pick the lady because she has back muscles that are very easily definable here. If we were to flip this gentleman, we would see more, I think. Though, I will say, because this gesture, you can kind of tell, here's a question. What muscles are the most defined on this gentleman? And that'll tell you exactly what muscles are being used. So if this big old bulge right here, you can't really see it, but this is all serratus. He's pulling his arm in. Pretty sure that muscle is to reach forward to punch people. Your serratus extends when you're punching, but your lat, it activates when you pull your arm backwards, like when you're climbing or when you're swimming. So there's a combination of stuff that's happening in here. He's reaching his shoulder forward and at the same time probably holding and gripping onto his knee, which is going to be activating the lat muscle. So that's a fun challenge, which is, if we're going to mirror this gesture, we might just do it head on and then flip it again just to see both sides, because it's helpful to see what's actually being activated. And this gesture is meant to accentuate the muscles we're looking at. If I flip it, it may not be as obvious. So let's see. We're doing, hi lady, this one today. She does have legs. I would strongly suggest you go get the picture because I'm going to be drawing her whole body with legs. So if you're wondering if I'm just conjuring or imagining legs, no, they're very visible. They're just not in this picture. But you'll see. It's just not censored. I might have to censor that before we start. I just realized. Oops. We shall see. We shall see. But anyway, let's see. Let me do something really quick, because I don't want to hide the picture from you just because her butt showing. I'm pretty sure Proko already showed you booty. It's just weird. I don't know what YouTube does. Sometimes it's fine, sometimes it's not. Let's see. Chat, I don't know what's about to happen. I'm going to open this picture and it's probably going to bring up the full image. So just bear with me for a second while I open this. Ah, hello. There we go. Real legs, eek. Okay. Show me pictures. I usually set this all up before, but I guess I forgot. Okay, one moment. I'm just gonna quickly... Natasha! There we are. Hello, beautiful. How you doing, gorgeous? Alrighty. Welcome back, lady. Okay, we're good. I just had to hide her real quick. You know, just in case. So, I think we're good. I'm gonna just merge this just in case something happens and I accidentally click that layer off. I think it's fine, but I don't trust YouTube. So, anyway, hope we're doing swell, Natasha. How you doing? We're gonna finally start. I don't know if you were able to vote, but if we haven't yet, you still have a few seconds to change my mind, because it's tied between this lady and another gentleman, and I'm probably gonna go with this lady today, and then we'll flip the other guy. But, oops, we'll see. We'll see. But I hope everyone's having a wonderful Mother's Day, and if you're here with me, then I don't know. I mean, there's more I could say, but I hope you had a time or some space to enjoy your mother, or if they're still here, your parental guardian. And you can watch this later, but we still gotta learn anatomy, so thanks for being here is all I'm saying. Oh! The drawing is... oh. I don't know. It's weird. It's weird. Sometimes things are fine, sometimes they're not. KK Slider's gonna make me think it's fine though. Alright, so let's see. The drawing is not gonna hopefully be super hyper realistic where we're gonna need to see all that stuff. Goodbye. What are you? Where is lady? Show me the first attempt at this lady. There she is. Yeah, so we're gonna try again. I'm gonna call this old. Odd. We're gonna probably fly through this one because I do have some other things I want to get to today, and I want to give you some time to go and enjoy your Mother's Day. So if you're here with me, thank you, but go enjoy your lovely mother if they're still here and present in your life. Proko Revisited, there we go. Alrighty, so let's see. Again, gesture-wise I feel good with it, but could the muscle definition be stronger? This feels kind of flat right now. Like, I definitely could have accentuated form a bit more. And again, there's just absolutely no shading. I don't think we're gonna do shading for this one, but we'll see, we'll see. I'll feel it out. Alrighty. Let's shrink this down. Good jam. Alright, can we see that, chat? That feel good? I just want to make sure something. This is not gonna... Oops. Hi. She's dancing. She's wiggling. There we go. Okay, I didn't want this to cover it up. Alright, let's move that over here. Yeah, here is fine. Okay. And then last but not least, my timer. We are going to time ourselves for this one because it's a gesture. Where is it? One second. Something's hiding from me. Ah, there we are. Come back here. Oh, you want to play games, do you? You want to be a saucy Sandra? Want to try that again? There we go. You're supposed to be sitting on top of everything. Just jump ahead. There we go. We just move that over here so my OCD doesn't freak out. Wonderful. Oh, wonderful.
And then,
there we go.
The other thing I think I had.
There's my actual mother. Okay, splendid. Alrighty. Hopefully we can see that. I hope you are ready with your materials because we are about to start very shortly. Let me just put a time stamp down. Where are we at? 35 minutes in. Not bad, not bad. Let's see. About 35:40. Boom, baby. Cool. Alright. Here we go. I'm going to hide this lovely lady. I'm going to make sure I got my tools. And then I just was going to ask, for now, I guess I'll keep it a secret, but there is some sketches I've been working on for the next project, and if anybody here cares about Deltarune, I was going to potentially show them to anybody if they're still here. Because this is not just anatomy for fun, it's anatomy to learn so we can be better at the stuff we actually want to draw, right? This is homework, so we can actually enjoy our learning curves later. So I'm feeling real good about the sketches I've made, and I just was going to ask if anybody was curious. So anyway, future projects probably won't be actually done until like end of June, but eventually. Okay. Restarting. 5 minutes to find the gesture. Then thereafter, 10 minutes to find the bones underneath, and 10 minutes finally to find muscle definition, and if we have extra time, shading as well. I don't think I'll do too much shading for this one because we want to see mostly muscles, but the ones after this, I'm going to try to challenge myself to do more shading definition so it makes it easier to see. We can't see her lovely cropped leg at all at this angle. That would be fun to mirror maybe later when we get to a leg lesson, but we're not doing legs, are we? We're doing back, so ignore that. Alrighty. Power to you, Natasha. Thanks so much for being here. I appreciate you so much. It makes it a little less lonely when I'm drawing with a buddy and not by myself. Thanks for being here. I appreciate you so much, beautiful. Alrighty. Yeah, alright. Here we go! I'm gonna put on shoes because my feet are starting to get a little sore. And I am stalling. I just want to make sure everything's ready because once I start, I won't be able to stop. How's music? Are we too loud? Are we good? Let me just make sure where we are in the playlist. Yeah. Okay, we got some Hollow Knight coming up. Okay. Alrighty. Thanks for your patience. Appreciate it. Gonna start now. Officially starting. I'm going to record this so it doesn't happen again, like always, when I definitely forget to record. Boom, baby. Don't worry, ignore that timer. We're not starting officially yet. Just know that that's what this is down here. So if I forget something, tell me if this timer is not going. I'll be so sad. Alrighty. I think we're ready. Okay, start your engines. Ready. Here we go. Officially starting in 3. Well, timer will go. You'll hear the bell. Here we go. Starting with base gesture. Proportions. Where is she? There she is. I'm going to add her legs, even though they're not as important as everything else. There's her back. Find her head. Okay. Her hair is covering it up, but C7, I'm going to use that to find her hips. C7 being the most prominent part of the cervical spine, it's a very handy landmark. Okay. I'm basically finding her hip points in the back, which is going to tell me where her pelvis is. There we go. I don't usually like to start with straights because it makes the whole gesture a lot stiffer, but it's very helpful still to find them. Okay, then from there, this is, let's see, I think I could even accentuate the pelvis going a little more that way. Her back isn't that short. It's going to have some more space to it. So let's actually... Whatever isn't making sense, I erase, because it'll confuse me later. Hip bone. Okay, from there. Spine finds the tailbone. Okay. I'm gonna make a bean. Just to find the actual form of her. She's not that thick, but there's Bud. Okay, tailbone, probably starting about there. There's rib. Okay, boob, handy landmark. Okay, there's her thigh. All right. From there, I'm gonna say from there starting down, there's a beautiful gesture line for her thigh and all the way down to her leg. I'm not here for her legs, I just want to find them. A little more. And this is coming forward. Arm is going to continue that line. Paralleling where is her head to her elbow, about there. There's a beautiful shoulder, very defined delt. Okay, continue that curve to find her hand, which should be a little bit lower than her eye. There it is. No way, dude. All right, and I don't really care much about her feet, but let's at least find them. It's about the same line as her foot. So this foot should have some space in between it. There's the heel. Let's see. Angle. It's a little bit shorter than this. Yeah. Find that. Alright, there she is. I think that's most of her. She's real thick in the hips, but that's most of her. Let's find the knee joint and a calf. And time. Okay, I might even push this a little more so that IT band comes back. There we go. Okay, I think we found her, kind of. Perhaps. Let me just take a few minutes to analysis paralysis. Is everything in the right place before we define anything? It doesn't make sense to define trash. Can't polish a turd. So, let's see. Where's the triangle of Venus? There it is. Kind of. From there, pelvis would continue all the way down. I didn't get her other arm, but it's very faint. Follow that all the way down. There she is. Hangs a little lower. Okay, chin. I didn't give her a chin. Where's her chinny chin chin? This is all trap. From there, neck. Neck is a little behind her boob. So about there. Her head's a little higher than I have it. Relationships, that's all I'm using is to find her. Okay, there we go. Her head feels real small, like unnaturally small. Ah. Okay, with that, I think we have her head. That's not really a Loomis head. There we go. Okay. There she is. Alrighty. Now let's find some bones. I think we can find some bones. I don't need her hand. I just want to block it in roughly. Taking valuable time to find things that we're not going to worry about, but I just need to know where they are. Cool. Is this in line? Where's her eye? It's a little bit closer to that. Just moving quickly so I can make more adjustments faster. Talking it through, I apologize if it's annoying. There we go. Okay. That's a base. I'll take that. Hi, bud. There's a cat with me. Lock her down. Let's try a couple of skeletons. So here we go. Here's the real meat and potatoes. Where's your ribcage, darling? I see your spine very clearly. Did I mark that spine, though? Here it is. I'm going to adjust some things. There's the spine. There's a very subtle bump going back in space. That's the thoracic. Very subtle. Everything else is very straight backed. Mostly lumbar, sacral, triangle, right before the crack. Don't expect anybody to be talking right now because we're working, but if you are able to, let me know how it goes after this break. Okay. There's her sacrum. From there, let's find a spot for a rib cage. There we go. Okay. Where's the angle of her back? Using this line, I'm gonna find that. Is she twisting? Not really. Not laterally, as in sideways or torso twist. Not really. So this rib cage is gonna be pretty stationary. Egg. Oh, good boy. I was just paranoid for a second. Cat was doing shenanigans. What a good boy. Alright. Now her head feels way too high, now that I look at it. Again, the last one, I did not time myself. This time, I am. So things probably will look worse than the first version. But if we can get even close, remotely close to our first attempt, I'll call that a victory. Shoulder line. Never found that. Oh yeah, you see that teres major playing in there? There's a little bump right there. That's some beautiful teres major coming into play. Okay, scapula, I see you. We just learned all about you. Not as important, but still need to know where they are. this bump right here, that's going to tell me where the scapula ends. So right where the deltoid is, that's a big indicator of scapula, because the deltoid starts right there. Twisty twist to get to the collarbone in the front. Okay, rib cage I didn't really find, nor pelvis. So let's get that in there. Pelvis is very important for this pose, so let's get that in there first. Both are, but still. Sacral triangle is about a third past the actual posterior points of the pelvis. There we go. Just finding a box for everything. Ooh, that beautiful lighting shift. It's kind of hard to see when it's that small, but that's telling me exactly where the pelvis is turning. So I'm going to use that. Okay, there she is. Pelvis is in. Kind of. Cool. Rib cage. Feels a little small, so let's see. I can see right here that dent is where rib cage kind of pokes out. So that's going to be my guiding line for everything. That's where it swoops back up. Okay, I think I found most of your rib cage, darling. That doesn't look right to me. Where's the front of it? That'll help me find it. Yeah. Swoop back. There we go. There it is. Cool. Alright. That's rib cage. Clean that up. Let me just add a few lines for striations. Let's see, I always forget. The ribs get gradually more angled. Yeah, they start more vertical and get more angled near the bottom, so. I'm pretty sure, what is it, 12 ribs? 1, 2, tell me, number, 11th rib. I think there's another floating rib in there somewhere, but 11. No, it's backwards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Not nearly enough. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then there's an 11th floating one. Stop freaking me out, no! Spine is in, ribs are in. We just need a clean scapula to find everything else. Okay. Flying through this. It feels too short over there. But did we get everything in that we needed? Mostly. Time to adjust. Anything else we need to do? That's way too short. Yeah, no, that goes a little deeper. Okay, I didn't give her any arms because we're not worried about arms, but still, she needs some arms. Let me just find at least the angle of the humerus. Ball and socket joint. Elbow. Boom. There's the end of it. Angle of the elbow meets horizontal. That's going to be a little foreshortened, isn't it? Sure will. Yeah. Box at the end. Stop! Freaking me out, dude. Where's the bicep? In the front, you probably won't even see it, but there's a little ridge there for some definition. Okay. Elbow. Don't care about this, but still need to know where it is. And then some arms crossing there. There we go. Okay. She doesn't really have a pelvis, but I think that's enough to find most of it. Let's see. Nope. Cervical, thoracic, lumbar, sacral. So we did not give her a cervical spine. That spine feels very off. Yeah, I'm gonna just keep going. Cervical, thoracic. It's not that strong, but stronger than this curve. Lumbar, thoracic.
In terms of your eating before bedtime, if you can, try to eat at least 3 hours.
Okay. C7 was what we were looking at. We found it. Alright, so now it's time for muscles. Kind of went past my timer a bit, but again, not going for perfection. This is just to keep me moving. And it is doing just that. No time to quibble, no time to dawdle. Alright. Sure. I would like to define her pelvis a little bit more, but we gotta move on to muscle. All we need to know is where the butt crack is. That's plenty. That's more than enough information to know where the lat ends. Cool. Alright. Skeleton. No, don't delete that. Alright. Muscles. Flying. Alrighty. Alright. Okay. What do we care about the most in this pose? We need to find that erector spinae. So, all of this junk, longissimus, the ills, iliocostalis, spinalis, longissimus, iliocostalis. Right. So, did you remember the crepes? That's all you need to worry about. Delicious crepes. Let's see, they can be a little bit more defined than that. Bigger crepes. And they're going at an angle. They're going to be sitting on top of the spine, so it's probably going to be hidden a little bit on this side. Cool. And then last but not least, the smaller crepes at the very end. Notice that plane change in muscle definition. It looks like a smooth curve, but there should be a little bump there. I see. It's just much less noticeable on her because her oblique is covering that. Woo! Yeah, women just naturally have a lot more smoothness in their bodies because we have more fat dispersed. No offense, ladies. I know some of us hate it, but it is what it is. Okay, that's the main thing we came to see. We already got that in, so let's find the form of that. Baguettes, whatever you want to call them. There's a nice furrow in spine there, because it's going to be sitting on top, making that depression more superficial. Everything else we already know. We've already learned. Lat. I'm bringing up my reference. There we go. Okay. Here's the guy we're looking for. He's underneath the trap. So we don't know anything about trapezius yet. We never learned it, but just know it's hiding your scapula. It's sitting on top of the scapula. If we fade that, there's your scapula. So it's going to cover like the top sheath of it. From there, lat wraps underneath to get to your humerus, under all of that beautiful junk, and then you might find some other good stuff. So this stretch, beautiful stretch of muscle right there. Ooh, I just realized I messed up her skeleton because this is teres major. That has to swoop back down to hit the scapula. And if my teres major is somewhere here, that's not nearly far enough. Scapula's got to be a little deeper, doesn't it? So, let's see. Here's the teres major. And then boob, right? There's a boob in there somewhere. Okay, so yeah, this has to go all the way down to get to that. So there's our teres major. From there, I think that's what it is. That actual curve is smoothed out, but this is going to be lat snaking around underneath to get to the head of the humerus. So there's our teres major. We don't have much to go off of with the trapezius, but I'm sorry, the triceps, but oh, good remix, good remix. Anybody remember the 3DS? My favorite system. Sorry, I'm paralyzed by good music. Can't even focus. She's not turning her head, no. She's looking straight ahead, so there's no twist there. We'll talk more about traps when we get to them. I'm gonna say that's where our traps end. Oh, bleak town over here. Coming down to hit the pelvis. We didn't get to it, but the pelvis would be rounded, so it's probably going to stop about there. Might extend this just as hair, because we want to clean up some of this. It's mostly just nonsense we're looking at right now. And I'm not going to even touch anything past the legs, because we don't know anything about them. We're here to clean up what we know. Tricep, we didn't learn it yet, so I'm not going to focus on it. Bicep, tricep, deltoid, we haven't learned it yet, so I'm not going to focus on it. But I do want to find it to just build it into our contour. Okay. Arms reaching forward, but might be a little bit of a bump there for the separation of deltoid and trap. 1 minute, what do we need? Oh yeah. Serratus, teres major. There's a difference. We didn't get her serratus in. And that probably is what I'm seeing here. These are ribs, maybe because she's thinner, but still. It'd be underneath all that flank fat of the boob, as well as her pec. Following that line of ribs. I don't think you'd even see any of that here. No, it's just going to be one loop. Big old mass. There's serratus, extending from the back of the scapula. So, from there... We never got the lat. Let's find that. Oh, no, it's going to be on top of the scapula, up here. There it is. I don't think I've ever listened to this music. It's really cute. Alright, let's find it. Here's teres major. Over that is going to be lat. Oh my gosh, time! There we go, baby. It looks like nonsense right now. But we found most of her. Alright, so that would normally be where the timer ends. 30 minutes, not bad. I think we can clean this up with another 10-minute timer. I really need to add one more timer to this just to give myself cleanup and shading time. So really 35 minutes makes more sense. But for now, I'm gonna do a favor. I'm gonna do something and step away from the screen for just a second. I'm gonna loop this. Let me make sure I see it. Nope, that's the wrong thing. Moving on, let's get some good stuff in here. Hollow Knight. Why not? Okay. Timer is gonna give me 2 minutes to recalibrate my vision so I can do one more thing. 2 minutes break. I'll be back by the time the timer goes off for a second time. We're gonna do a little bit of contour and maybe a baby amount of shading. And then we'll finish for the day. Lock her down. Make this a little lighter. 35 I think is good. Cool. And one more for shading. Can I keep my layers separate? We'll find out. Probably not, but we'll try. Okay, I'll be right back. Let me just make sure, what layer is this? It's this. City of Tears. Okay. It's actually really quiet. I'm gonna turn that up a little. Here we go. It's music we don't hear often. All right, I'll be right back after this 2 minute, well, 1 minute now, goes off. I'll be ready. I'll be back. Okay. Beat the timer sick. Alrighty. One thing I'm just now realizing, her head is way too high up. I don't feel like that's in the right place. Her neck feels exponentially long. But, no, I just realized her hair is covering most of that, so that's probably why. Never mind. I think she's fine. I'm freaking out over nothing. Is her leg in the right place? It's not as important, but might finish that off camera later. Alright, back in. One more session for cleanup. So let's get some shading in first. I see some core shadows. Let's put those in. So cylindrical forms always put a nice soft shadow, and it tapers as it gets closer to the edge. And that goes all the way to the spine, actually, I just realized. It's just mostly covered by traps that you don't see it. And then there's a little shift in, ooh, yeah, where the bones meet muscle. Okay. And build that little furrow in there where there's a very strong depression in her spine, probably the darkest part. So let's get that in. I found your spine, honey. There it is. Okay. Darkest as possible. Dark, 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 dark. Okay. There's her spine. Walled off by two big old crepe baguettes. Delicious. Is there anything else that's very underrated? There's a little bit of shadow right here where I think some magic could happen. I'm going to say that's the section of infraspinatus becoming teres major. Ebo! Welcome! You're unfortunately a little bit late. I'm sorry to say. I'm going to probably wrap in about 5 minutes. But welcome! I'm so happy you made it. I'm trying to fly through this one because I want to let you guys celebrate your Mother's Day. And I actually want to have some time to myself today. Streams go long usually when I'm into it, but I got other things I got to work on, like a project that I'm excited for. Let's see. I'm going to take 5 minutes to find some core shadows and then 5 minutes to clean up the contour. But yeah, shorter stream today. Sorry. It doesn't take as long when I'm not doing all this nonsense trying to find body parts. As soon as I find everything, it's pretty straightforward. So, sorry, probably going to be a little shorter today. Is there anything else? A nice gradient that goes from the side meat to the back meat. Light highlights on the edges. Midtones on the curves. There's some ribs that could be a little more defined. But welcome, I'm glad you made it. Oh, this might actually be, no, that's not that. That might be the a muscle I can't talk about, but I think what we're seeing back here is that guy. You see that very faintly? Serratus posterior, you sneak. I didn't notice that the first time. Ooh, I think that's what that is. I'm gonna have fun finding that later. Premium course people, you're gonna have to go and find that yourself. Sorry, I can't give you that detail. Have fun though, being juicy later. Okay. Alright, we're about 1 minute left for shading. Anything else? There's a lovely long curve of shadow that could be on her butt, but we're gonna leave that alone because we're not touching her butt. Not really. Just want to find everything. There she is. Okay. Yeah. She has a neck somewhere in there. Find that arm. Alright, let's start building it out. Contour time. Lock that down. Alright. First things first. This boob feels way too small. She got more than that. Perky lady. There we go. Alrighty. And there's a hand that's very sneakily hidden underneath that, but we're not going to worry about that. She's just going to have a floating hand. Okay. There's some tricep that we could define, but that's not important. We're here to mostly see... Ooh! Her boob's a little too low. Oh no. Or we didn't give her enough rib. I think that's what it is. She has more rib than I gave her. There's her rib. Oh. 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 See, this is why I'm glad we're doing this. Contour is way lower. There it is. Oh. Oh. Alrighty. Well, we found it. But all the way down. Okay. I don't need to define things you can't see, so I'll do that off camera for myself later. Let's see. What else? What else? What else? What else? Armpit. Let's find that. I see a beautiful armpit. I want it. Beautiful. Okay. Give me that delicious curve from deltoid and tricep. Oh my god. Look at that sharp angle right there. Coming right off the top of that pit, so right at the cavern. Just makes me happy to see sharps and curves right next to each other. They make some yummy contrast right next to each other. She's not buff, but it's definitely defined. It's right there. You can't miss it. Okay. There would be a bicep in front of that. And then ridge muscles take over for the rest of her arm. Cool. Alright. I don't really need to see everything else, but I guess I should build out her head. She has one. Let's find it. Oh, and the separation of actual back from arm. Yeah, we need to find that. Let's do that. Serratus. There's some teres major. Oh, yeah. Cool. And this lovely long stretch of back meat. It's not very defined, but there is a baguette there, if you squint. Definitely rush through this lesson. I apologize if I was moving quickly. Definitely go back and rewatch this if you missed the Proko lesson, because you won't know what I'm talking about at all. Let's make this a little lighter. Some cast shadow there. Yeah. Alright. All of this, mostly off camera, but you can find butt if you want. It is there. There is a crack. Yeah. And a little curve for her leg. There it is. Defining things that are not even visible in the picture for you, but still important. And then her leg comes forward. Would be hidden. Yeah. Okay. I think let's give her a head. Let's give her a head. Let's give her a head. I run from heads. I don't like them. Let's give her a head. Trap. Can't talk about it yet because we don't know what it is yet, but there's a trap there. Beautiful neck curve. So she's kind of turning her head a little bit. Just a little bit. Then neck. I found her neck. Ooh, chinny chin chin. is actually lower than I thought. Right about at this, yeah, right there. Ha. I thought her head felt too high. I was right. No! And then her ear is right there. So that tells me where the bottom of the Loomis circle is. Boom. And then the angle of it is matching the angle of her cheekbone. So there's her ear hiding. Boom. There's her jawline. Okay. There it is. Egad, 30 seconds. No! Eee! Hair. Ha. And then, ha. And a bun. Yeah. There it is. Messy bun. Yeah. There she is. Ooh. Okay. Okay. I don't know. I can't really see much, but maybe if I hide things. You know, we're not here to be perfect. But considering, let's do a before and after. Here's what I did the first time. Oh, it's hidden. Wait. Let's make a white background. There we go. Now we can see it. Not bad. And then here's what we did the second time. So again, context. The first time I did not have a timer. I did not time myself. So I just did it all day. This one was done under an hour. I feel pretty decent about that. A little bit. Some things I'm definitely noticing. I could have embellished like more of this curve here. She has a little more slope in this side of her arm and she feels a little compressed in here. So probably could just, yeah. Oh, no, well, if I move it, everything falls away. But yeah, if I hide all of that and just nudge it, that probably would make more sense gesture-wise, but considering I was on a timer and I was rushing, I feel decent. Let's see. Let's do a test. Let's make a line from this line all the way to that line. So this curve. Are we in line? I'm looking at it as I draw the line. Yeah, I kind of missed it. It was a little more that way. So yeah, I was right. But these are things we learn as we go. I'm finding it. So what I might do real quickly is just, yeah, her arm feels way too thin there. Way too thin. It's definitely not going to look right, but the power of digital art. Cheating! Yeah, there we go. That kind of fits a little bit better. Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, Natasha, that's totally valid. Improvising is definitely what I did for the longest time, and I got away with it for a while. But you just feel more confident when you know what you're looking at, and actually drawing it in practice takes a little more time, but it does help a lot. So you're doing the hard work by being in here right now. That's the journey. We're not ever going to be perfect. We're not gods. We're just here to try our best, and your best just gets better and better and better over time. So stick with me, kid. But yeah, no, I'm kind of like, I don't know what an arm looks like, but I'll draw something and then I'll be like, nah, that doesn't look right, and then just kind of mess around and fiddle and fidaddle, and then next thing you know, it's like, okay, that feels better. Studying anatomy for real. You're doing it though. You're doing it. And the fact that you're here again, I can't fault anybody for just trying. Yeah. I gotta say, if I go back and look at some of my older art before I started this whole journey, there were like multiple times when I'd be like, oh God. Oh God. I think I remember very vaguely like a comment I got on one of my earliest speed paints in the very beginning when it was like, this person didn't know what anatomy was clearly, but you know, she kind of faked it with the details, so I guess it's okay. So we try our best here. We try our best. Okay. I'm not going to fiddle anymore. I think that's enough. But let's see. If I look at that now, it doesn't match the shading. But that does feel better. That does feel better. Yeah. And her head's really narrow, like really narrow. She's got a little bit more girth to her head. So what if I were to just, again, moving quickly, probably would just adjust these by redrawing it, but yeah. And it's a little more upright than that. She's not looking up, but she's not looking down either. Where's her eyes? I see eyelash. There it is. Okay. Forehead. Yeah. Subtle adjustments that go a long way. Yeah, that feels a little better. Okay, so if I hide muscles and I hide... no, I'll leave the skeleton there. I'll just lower the opacity. 25. Sure. And her thigh is massive, but... yeah, she got butt for days. But yeah, that's probably where it is. Make that a nice, strong curve. There we go. And then some, yeah. So, okay. All right. I'm not mad at that. One more thing. If I were to just define where her arm ends, let me just put a nice line there. Ulnaris curves the end of her hand. And then she ain't got a hand. She got no hand. You don't get a hand, lady. No hand for you. All right. I feel decent about that. Are there any questions I can answer? Because I flew through that session. Holy crap. I feel decent, but I want to make sure I'm here to address questions as well. So if we're just here to watch me draw, that's not why we're here. We're here to work together. So anyway, beyond the fact that I think we rushed the session obviously very quickly because I do want to get to some things, if there's anything I can answer really quick or anybody who wants to share their work, critiques are welcome in the Discord all day long. So I'll leave you guys with a few minutes if we want to ask questions or show and tell, and then I'll leave you to enjoy your Mother's Day. I feel shocked that we finished at 4:30. Only about an hour and a half. Let's go. Yay! We're getting faster, chat. We're getting faster. At least I am, personally. But I hope we're all working on it together. It's a work in progress. We're growing together. Alrighty. I could finesse and keep going, but I'm probably going to finish it with this. So if I touch it anymore, I'll be here for 4 more hours. I know myself. Oh! And while we're waiting for people to answer if they want to do stuff in the Discord, I'm going to also... Oh, no. Stop. There we go. The best part is, for those that are here early and can manage to stay till the end of the stream, you get to watch the time lapse that I recorded. So here we go. Let's see what we did. We got everything for once this time. So we found the base, put a bunch of construction lines down that don't feel very real, found some curves. I would definitely advise going backwards, sometimes curves and then straights after, because it adds more movement to the pose, but, you know, it depends on you. Using relationships to find things. Then we went and built her skeleton. That spine definitely doesn't feel real until we actually put both the lumbar and the sacrum in there. Even then, it still kind of feels a little wonky, a little iffy. Then we found some baguettes, we found some crepes, and then it got messy real quick. Obliques don't match because that's not where pelvis actually ends. It was just a frame for it. And then detail. Okay. Oh wow, look at that snap. The before and after. If I can... No, I can't. My favorite part of my favorite song in Hollow Knight, Green Path. Yay! Alrighty. But, yeah. There's definitely more that I could probably say and do, but we'll be here forever, and I want to let you guys enjoy your Mother's Day, or at least your Sunday if you want to. So, I'm going to call the stream here, but next week, I will have to cancel, because I gotta go to a recital. You can tell how excited I am. But yes, praying to God that I do not get sick, surrounded by 10 million children and all millions of their family members. I will be back in 2 weeks, and we can do part 2 of the lower back. So whatever picture that we didn't do today that was voted for in the poll, we're going to do the gesture of that one, which I believe is this gentleman here. Yeah. And we're probably not going to mirror him. We might just draw him straight head on like this one today. Because this one is it's very obvious. Like, if you are studying the back, you gotta talk about the serratus. It's just beautiful. It's right there. So we gotta talk about that serratus. Oh, thank you. I'm gonna try my best, Ebo. I'm gonna try my best. I hopefully will be coming to work that following week. You'll see me in class. But yeah, next Sunday I gotta go kill myself. But other than that, the rest of these options are up for grabs. So if you haven't voted yet, by all means, please tell me which ones we're going to talk about, because we're going to take a look and hopefully do all of these next time. Yeah, so I'll leave you with that. But as always, my friends, PLD, keep playing, keep loving, keep dreaming, and go kiss your mom if you haven't yet today, or if they're not nearby in your vicinity or no longer here on this planet. I wish you all the love in the world. Give your mother a figure or your mom some love. Okay, chat? Or if you are a mom, pat yourself on the back, because dang it, what you do is hard. Mass respect. All right? Thanks for coming, Natasha. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks to everybody who's a lurker or anybody who's watching these later in life. Appreciate you. Mwah. Ciao for now.